You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Right now at 7, Coffeyville honors fallen heroes as veterans gather to remember those who made the ultimate sacrifice.
Also, we'll hear the story of a 104-year-old World War II veteran from Southwest Missouri.
And we're going to hear the story of the showers that just didn't want to stop. More rain on the way. It has to end eventually. Take a look at that forecast for you coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Elise Noe.
I'm Chris Warner. It is now Tuesday. It's May the 27th. We are closing in on the end of this month. The meteorological start to summer is June the 1st, and it is going to be a pretty decent chance. Won't worry about all that later, but we have Memorial Day over this weekend. I know it's a little bit soggy, but that didn't stop people from remembering.
Certainly not. Now, of course, on Memorial Day, we remember those who've gone before, including our nation's veterans. A ceremony in Coffeyville, Kansas yesterday afternoon was originally scheduled to be outside, but moved indoors due to weather concerns.
As KOAM's Lonnie Walton reports, this wasn't about the location, but more importantly, the memories and gratitude for those who served.
I joined the Marine Corps to get out and see the world and have more opportunities.
Paul Melise is from Coffeyville, and he's a Vietnam vet. He says he was like any young person working in the food industry. He was looking for discipline in his life, but more importantly, he had a message.
It starts with freedom. If you love freedom, you got to be willing to defend it, because there are people out there that want to take it away from us.
Melise and other vets were honored at Grace Fellowship Church across the street from Fairview Cemetery, where it was supposed to be held, but it didn't happen due to the weather. Pastor Doug Munn says it didn't matter. The community showed a lot of love.
Seeing the community come together, honoring our veterans, seeing the city band out here, the mayor, our legislator.
And here comes the good part.
And it was a lot warmer inside.
But outside is where local Kyle Brimley came to visit. 2 of his relatives fought in armed forces, his dad and his stepdad.
A 2-time Golden Glove boxer. He was going to play pro football, but he had to go in the military.
And for his other dad,
he had the cleaners on 11th Street in Coffeyville.
Melise says the true heroes are right here.
The real heroes are the ones that are in the graves, the ones that didn't make it back home. And we're the only voice they have as veterans. And so for me personally, I feel it as a duty and a responsibility.
Reporting in Coffeyville, I'm Lonnie Walton, KOAM News.
Now, the entire event was open to the public.
Of course, a great remembered ceremony. As I mentioned, it's not about the weather, it's not about the location, it's about remembering and honoring those who have served and who have passed. So a great ceremony for sure, and one of many over the holiday weekend. We are continuing with our shower and thunderstorm chances out there. Now, right now, if we take a look outside, it is just some drizzle. It's leading to some reduced visibilities, which are showing up on the fog tracker. We're looking at just slightly reduced visibilities in most cases, but we have some heavy drizzle. We are going to have some actual patchy, dense fog overnight tonight, but right now, this drizzle, these light showers are just, you know, it just looks like this. It's pretty gray outside, and the Skywatch Storm Tracker, again, drizzle, like what we're seeing right now, it is too finite. Same with, that's why it doesn't show up with fog either. A little too finite for the radar beam to detect. We do have one little shower here in the north central portions of Elk County. That's it. I know right now it doesn't look like much, but eventually we are expecting through the morning, shower chances will begin to gradually increase across the area. No severe weather is expected. I do want to emphasize that because we've had a pretty rough start to our severe weather season. Going back to April 2nd is what kind of kicked everything into high gear. We're just looking at the rain. Now, would we like the rain to go away? Absolutely. Is it going to eventually? By about 6, I think the bulk of the heavy rain is gone. Future tracks still showing heavier rain out in our eastern counties, but I think if there's anything still by 8, we're looking more at a few isolated showers at this point. 58 in Joplin right now, 58 also in Pittsburgh, and temperatures across the region right about where we expected them to be. We've got some upper 50s, and we've got a few 60-degree readings with now we actually have a warm spot. Earlier this morning, it was a smattering of 60s in our southwestern counties, but Nowata, you are now the warm spot, sitting at 61. All of us eventually at least into the mid-60s today, and our southern counties may get a little more of The sunshine here might go into the low 70s, but most of us mid-60s, so still 15 degrees cooler than normal. Scattered showers, thunderstorms, again, through about 6. They should start wrapping up. We'll have that north breeze 5 to 10. Now, as I mentioned, we'll stay mostly cloudy tonight. We're actually going to see patchy, dense fog build in because, well, it's rained a lot. We got a lot of water and moisture out there. That's going to lead to the fog concerns. We still have a little more rain on the way, but as I mentioned, too, it will eventually stop. We'll talk about when it stops and what happens after it does stop here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, a former police chief is on the run after escaping from a prison in Arkansas. Grant Hardin, the former police chief of Gateway, Arkansas, escaped from the North Central Unit in Calico Rock, where he has been held since 2017. While officials have not released many details due to the investigation, they did say Hardin disguised himself to mimic law enforcement when he escaped the North Central Unit, which you can see in this picture. Now, Hardin was serving a 30-year sentence for the October 2017 murder of James Appleton. He was also serving a 50-year sentence for the rape of an elementary school teacher in Rogers, Arkansas. Now, corrections officials say they are working closely with local, state, and federal agencies. And to be the first to see breaking news, whether in sports, you can download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. More than 16 million Americans fought in World War II, and according to the Department of Veteran Affairs, about 66,000 are still living today. Reporter Jackie Garrity was able to sit down with one of our Southwest Missouri veterans with an incredible story of bravery and a call to serve.
It may seem as if it's an average day for the nurses at the Jane Taylor Veterans Outpatient Clinic in Springfield. Harriet Daniels is here to get a checkup, something she's been doing for 40 years at the VA.
So we're listening to your hearts.
What you wouldn't know about Harriet, just by looking at her, is that she's also a 104-year-old World War II veteran.
In communications, the front was only about, I think it was about 10 miles away, and we could hear the guns and stuff. But fortunately, they never did, the Germans never did break through.
Harriet has called Aurora home for decades, where her son Tommy, a Vietnam War veteran, lives 5 blocks from her. She was even given the key to the city at her 100th birthday, but she was born in 1921 in Northeast Oklahoma.
Of course, I was raised during the Depression, so nobody had any money. Everybody was poor, I guess.
Harriet and her family were living in Kansas City when World War II broke out. Her brother was drafted and sent to the South Pacific.
Every day when I got off of work, there was this poster, big poster, and it had Uncle Sam, and he says, "I want you." So I went home and I told Mom that I was going to join the WAC.
After Harriet joined the WAC, the Women's Army Auxiliary Corps, she was sent to Fort Des Moines and then Daytona Beach, Florida.
And there was rumors that we were a special group and that we would probably be going overseas. But you don't have to go if you don't want to. Well, after I'd been through all this, I decided, well, I guess I'm going to go.
And then she shipped out over the Atlantic to North Africa, and then
put us on airplanes and sent us to Italy.
Harriet spent the war sending teletype messages for the Allied forces in the European theater. While over there, she met her husband, and they married in Italy. But due to supply shortages during the war, they had to get creative when it came to making her wedding dress.
The girls decided in my room, there was 10 of us in the room, and but one of them, she decided, well, she would make my wedding dress. And I remember they stood me up on a chair and put this big parachute silk around me. So my dress was made out of a part of a parachute.
Do you have so much pride for what you did that you were the greatest generation and part of the biggest battle, arguably, in world history?
Well, at the time we didn't, but now I do. I think I guess it was one of the biggest generations, and I guess I do think that I'm proud I am part of it.
A living legacy and honoring those who paid the ultimate sacrifice and aren't here to tell their stories today.
Well, Harriet worked at Juvenile Shoes for more than 20 years, and her husband died in 1968. Her brother also survived the war, and she said she kept in touch with her roommates for many years, but sadly she believes she is the only one left. Now, these days she enjoys doing crafts and watching NASCAR. And those are our top news stories this half hour. Coming up next, Jason Rickner from Stronghold Data talks about how AI has been making a difference. And later we'll see how you can prevent some common summertime injuries this season. You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. We'll be right back. We, of course, have heard how AI has been making a difference, but just how impactful has it been? We have Jason Rickner from Stronghold Data with us this morning to share how AI has made a difference, where it's heading, and to, of course, invite you to a wonderful luncheon happening later on this week. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Happy to have you.
Thank you.
So, of course, talk to me a little bit about AI, the development of AI, and what folks can expect when they attend this luncheon.
So, AI has been around for quite a while. It wasn't until November of 2022 when ChatGPT was released and open to everyone to download and start using it that it really took off. But artificial intelligence is something that now anyone can use in their personal lives and their professional lives. And this lunch and learn that we're doing, we're bringing in the director of data science for Walmart.
Okay, wow.
And Doug has been with Walmart, AT&T, Southwest Airlines, and data science has always been one of those things that everyone thought big companies, had to have a large payroll to do. With artificial intelligence now, anyone can do it.
Right.
And so if you're looking at starting a garage business, one out of your home, maybe you're just a small business owner, this is an opportunity to kind of learn how you can look at data analytics, artificial intelligence to do that. Maybe you're looking at starting a business. Artificial intelligence can help you write that business plan, or maybe you're struggling with a marketing idea or social media post. There's a lot of different use cases that people can make, and of course you can have fun with it. You probably see on social media where they say, hey, roast me, right? Or roast my friends. And so there's just so much that can be done with it. Most recently I used it to hang a shelf on a wall.
Oh, really now?
Yeah. So, it has the capabilities from a video component to put up there. But so this lunch and learn, it's going to be at our office, in Joplin.
Yes.
And you can go to our website. I think you might even have the link that you can share.
Yes.
It is at no cost to the attendees.
It's great.
Space is limited, so we do ask that you register. It is Friday. The doors are going to open at about 11:30.
Okay.
We're going to start right at noon. Doug's going to go right into that presentation. He's going to stick around for a little bit to answer any questions. So it should be a great event.
Wonderful. Do you find that with local business owners here in the four-state area that this need for AI is crucial for business owners, or are you just wanting people to really to come and learn and to see if it might be useful for them?
I think it is crucial for them. Artificial intelligence, there's a fear that it's going to replace humans. I think that it's called human co-intelligence is probably a better term for it. And what that really means is that those that use AI are probably going to replace those that don't.
Okay.
And it's a tool. And back to the business owner, look at using this tool to enhance your business.
Yes.
How can you make it better, and how can you compete with maybe a Walmart?
Wonderful. Sounds great. Well, lots to learn at that lunch and learn. Thank you, Jason, so much for being with us this morning. We'll, of course, have all of those details on our website later on this morning, and that's, of course, KOAMnewsnow.com. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 7:18, almost 7:19 on this Tuesday morning. Skywatch Storm Tracker, there is not a lot out there, but what we do have is we have some drizzle, we have some mist, we have some light showers. That's leading to slightly reduced visibilities in some locations this morning. Pretty empty at this point, but again, over the course of the next several hours, we'll see shower and even thunderstorm chances gradually increase. And by noon, we're looking at scattered showers, a couple of rumbles of thunder out there. No severe weather expected with any of this activity, but we will continue to see some of that rainfall move on through. Now, one advantage later today is we'll start to go mostly cloudy, and so that just means we'll get a little more sunshine into some areas, which could allow us to warm up a bit. Now, a little further south, like Bartlesville, for example, you get a little more sunshine in there, maybe into the low 70s, but most of us are going to top out into the mid 60s today. Once we get into the evening, about 6, 7 o'clock, say 6 at the latest, the bulk of the heavy rain is done. Could have a few isolated showers lingering in our eastern counties, but otherwise we do start to dry out. We'll have patchy, dense fog across the area tonight. We got enough moisture out there, enough rainfall, and we'll have calm winds overnight, so that will lead to that stirring up. Temperatures still not bad, upper 50s. And then as we go into our Wednesday, we'll even have moments of partly cloudy skies to mostly cloudy skies. Will be even warmer for many of us as we roll into our Wednesday with the low 70s showing up. Then as we get into the late evening hours, we'll see another round of showers and thunderstorms. I know you're like, man, I thought you just said showers and storms, and I did, and we've been saying it for the last few days, but it will eventually stop. Don't worry. More showers, more thunderstorms. They'll be scattered again. No severe weather expected with any of this, but these will be fairly scattered, so that's some helpful will help out a little bit rather there. We won't have rain everywhere all at once, and that holds true into Thursday as well. Now, the clouds will increase. We're looking at cloudy skies across the area. It does keep our temperatures back down a bit, but as you can see, the shower chances by Thursday are considerably more isolated to widely scattered. It's a bit more sporadic for us. Then as we end the Thursday evening, skies will gradually begin to clear as we go Thursday night into Friday morning, which will set the stage for even warmer weather for us. So what does that look like outside right now? It looks like that. It's gray, very gray and very wet outside with those showers continuing. You can see off on the horizon. Again, it's leading to some slightly reduced visibilities. Do keep that in mind, but this is really, again, just the drizzle, which won't show up on radars. Showers, drizzle, whatever, through the morning hours. It's going to be wet outside, low 60s, just kind of hovering there. It won't be until the afternoon we start to get to those mostly cloudy skies where we get some little peaks of sunshine here and there. So that's why we'll gradually warm to the mid 60s for most of us. We'll have that north breeze at 5 to 10. Mostly cloudy through the evening hours and into the overnight. And of course, that slows down our temperature drop. Another night into the upper 50s. Calm winds, and as I mentioned, that fog we got to keep an eye on. Tomorrow, evening storms, low 70s. A few isolated showers Thursday, about 70. Friday, fantastic. There's that sunshine. There's those nice temperatures. Saturday, it's nothing to panic about, but remember the phrase, I know you've heard it 100 times, but when thunder roars, head indoors. We're looking at pop-up storms Saturday, so not everyone necessarily will see rain, but if you hear thunder, you need to get inside, because otherwise, it's going to be pretty nice this weekend. Sunny skies, temperatures back in the low to mid 80s. Let's check your forecast. We're back with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this. While the risk for drowning can increase during the summer months, doctors say this upcoming season is also marred by a slew of other fatalities and injuries.
Now, many of these can happen right outside your home, even in your backyard. Fox News' Sue Guzman takes a closer look at what you can do to keep you and your loved ones safe.
As we welcome the unofficial start of summer, temperatures aren't the only thing starting to rise, with doctors warning of an influx in several seasonal injuries that can upend plans for fun in the sun.
Summertime is commonly known as trauma season.
While there are remedies for wounds, it's better to focus on prevention. This is especially true for any head injuries that can result from accidents involving bikes, scooters, and more. For these activities, the CDC says wearing a properly fitted helmet can lower your chances for traumatic brain injuries and concussions. But besides safety-proofing yourself, your yard may also require some attention,
because there are a lot more open fires over the summer.
Safety experts recommend creating a border around fire pits to prevent people and animals from stumbling in or getting too close. What you light fires with matters as well.
Making sure that you don't use propane or kerosene to light fires.
Meanwhile, just because fireworks and the 4th of July go hand in hand doesn't mean some people won't be launching off a few early pyrotechnics. But mishaps with fireworks can lead to burns for mild injuries. Doctors say there's a lot of home remedies they don't advise.
We do not recommend people coating it with butter or Vaseline. Use cool water. Don't dip it in ice water.
Serious burn victims should seek emergency care. Sue Guzman, Fox News.
I'm sorry. People make fun of these things all the time. Those are great pieces of advice, but I'm telling you, we just gave you about 100 reasons to just stay indoors this summer. Like, it's too dangerous to go out. Just don't go out.
It's going to keep raining. We're going to stay inside anyway.
Yeah, if it rains enough, you'll have no reason to go outside. But my good, just be safe and responsible this summer for sure.
No butter on the arm. No butter on the burns.
No.
Well, coming up, local community members come together on Memorial Day to remember those who've served.
And, well, I mentioned the rain. Take a look at that. It is foggy. It's a bit drizzly. That's why it's foggy. We'll talk about how long this rain lasts when we come back.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. It's currently 7:30. I'm Elise Snowy. In Crawford County, Kansas, several roads were shut down after heavy flooding washed out portions of the roadway. Commissioner Bruce Blair says the damage is significant, and county officials are urging people to turn around and find a safer route instead of trying to drive through. Now, they say the Road and Bridge Department immediately began assessing the damage and implementing safety closures while also looking at long-term repairs. And of course, don't forget, you can be the first to know about the day's weather with the KOAM Skywatch weather app. Get those severe weather updates sent straight to your phone free of charge. It's available in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. The KOAM Skywatch weather app. Well, community members gathered at Webb City's Mount Hope Memorial Park for a Memorial Day remembrance. Charlie Tutu put together the service with the presentation of colors and the playing of taps. The Webb City mayor says it's important that at least part of the holiday is about honoring our veterans.
I like to have fun. I think that our nation likes to have fun, but there are occasions when we need to set that aside and just be reflective and somber and remember we didn't get here on our own.
The ceremony yesterday included the placement of the ashes of U.S. Navy veteran Mark E. Reynolds. Now let's head over to Chris for a quick look at your forecast.
We are still dealing with those cloudy skies, drizzly conditions, wet roadways out there. We'll have that continue also for a little bit longer before eventually these clouds and the rain will clear out. That's, of course, our camera downtown Pittsburgh. Take a look. A little hazier now, a little foggier looking with some heavier drizzle. Joplin in the MoDOT camera 32nd and range line looking back to the south. So you've got to watch out for that. It's not, again, genuine fog necessarily, but we are getting some very heavy drizzle at times, which is leading to reduced visibilities. Really, we're back to nothing on the Skywatch Storm Tracker once again. We've had some spotty showers here and there, but Future Track's still showing that over the next few hours, we'll see showers, maybe even a couple of rumbles of thunder start to increase across the area. No severe weather. I really want to emphasize that. I know I've said it 100 times. Just after the severe weather season that we've had so far, I think it's very important to emphasize that this is harmless at this point, at least from a severe weather standpoint, which is some good news. Showers again, thunderstorms continue. I think by about 6, the bulk of the heavy rain is done. Then we'll start to see things begin to clear out as we get into the late evening and overnight hours with some patchy fog tonight. We're having another full look at your forecast, talk about how long this rain sticks around and how our weekend is shaping up here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, President Trump honored the American heroes who gave their lives in a ceremony at Arlington National Cemetery on Memorial Day. But his attention also remains on the escalating barrage of attacks Russia has unleashed on Ukraine, despite U.S. efforts to help kickstart peace talks. The president is also ramping up his fight against Harvard University. Wendy Gillette has more from New York.
On Memorial Day, President Trump honored the fallen at Arlington National Cemetery.
Their valor gave us the freest, greatest, and most noble republic ever to exist on the face of the earth.
The president also escalated his fight with Harvard University, which he accuses of not doing enough to address anti-Semitism on campus. On social media, President Trump threatened to take $3 billion in federal grants from Harvard and give it to trade schools instead, though he gave no other details. Russia has ramped up its attacks on Ukraine in recent days amid U.S.-involved peace efforts. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky says there's evidence that Moscow is preparing for new offenses, adding that Russia is counting on a prolonged war. Reacting to the escalation, President Trump said Sunday that Russia's President Vladimir Putin had, quote, gone absolutely crazy.
He's killing a lot of people, and I don't know what the hell happened to Putin.
A Kremlin spokesman later characterized President Trump's comments as an emotional reaction. Meanwhile, Putin has threatened to throttle Western companies like U.S.-based Microsoft and Zoom that are still operating in Russia, which he claims may be working against his country's interests. Wendy Gillette, CBS News.
The European Union's lead trade negotiator said he had good calls with the Trump administration officials Monday, and they're fully committed to reaching a trade deal. President Trump said he's postponing a planned 50% tariff on goods from the EU from June 1st to July 9th so that talks can continue. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. We'll hear how one man in Utah tries to motivate people 1 mile at a time. You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. We'll be right back. Salad for the month of May, and we're making a calico quinoa salad today. Good morning, Charlene.
Oh, I love this recipe. I don't know, every recipe we've had has been so colorful and gives us some fresh varieties for summer besides just a regular vegetable lettuce salad. So I've cooked it ahead of time. We're using 2 cups, and you could cook it in water or you could cook it in a vegetable broth, whatever you want to do. And to that now, after it's cooled, we're going to add edamame.
Alrighty, put that in there.
There we go. And then cherry tomatoes that I cut in half. You can already see how colorful this is going to be. And then we have our sweet bell pepper. I picked yellow, but guys, you could do whatever color you wanted. Look how pretty that is. And then we have the green onion. And we've talked about if you wanted to use red onion, if you wanted to use just a sweet onion, you could. Then frozen peas. And the frozen peas just add a pop of freshness rather than using canned peas. And that's right. And then we're going to stir in some feta cheese. And this is a ½ cup crumbled that we add. And again, if you wanted to try and substitute another kind of cheese, you sure could. Then you have our dressing, and this is just Italian dressing. And the basic ingredient in most dressings in the grocery store is soybean oil that they start with. So you can pour that in, and we will just stir that in and then let that just blend a little bit. You could let it refrigerate it for just a few, I don't know, maybe 15 or 20 minutes. And then that lets those flavors blend. And look how pretty that salad is. And so easy to put together.
Super simple, looks super delicious. Charlene, if people want to find the recipe for this or any of the salads that we made in the month of May, where can they do so?
They should go to our website at kansassoybeans.org. They can call our 800 number, 877-KS-SOYBEAN. And I'll mention that with all of our salads this month, this is May, National Beef Month too. And so you could add beef, pork, chicken, fish to any of these salad recipes to have that extra bonus. And in Kansas, most of our soybeans are used to feed livestock, so you're getting a double benefit. And we will mail out the Soy Foods Guide to everybody this month too.
Fantastic. Charlene, once again, thanks so much for being with us this morning.
Thank
Happy to have you. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It is 7:42, about to be 7:43 now on this Tuesday morning. And a live look, MoDOT camera 32nd and range line. We do again have some patchy, we have some heavy drizzle at times, which is leading to some reduced visibilities. It's very patchy. It's going to be hit and miss, but you do need to be prepared for that for your commute this morning. Otherwise, the Skywatch Storm Tracker is absolutely clear. As you can see, there is absolutely nothing on it in terms of rain that it can pick up. And I do want to emphasize that because drizzle It's not something, it's a little too finite. The radar beam goes out, it can't really see it, and so it returns back as there's nothing there. But we obviously saw there is some heavy drizzle at times. Now, future track still showing that eventually a few more showers over the next few hours this morning will start to increase across the area. A couple of rumbles of thunder possible as well. No severe weather or anything to really worry about there. But we'll continue with another day of scattered showers and a couple of rumbles of thunder. However, one of the key changes as we roll into the afternoon, we're looking at some periods of just mostly cloudy skies. Now, I know that doesn't sound too great, but we're going to get a little more sunshine today than what we've had over the last few days, which will allow us to be still a couple of degrees warmer. Now, down south, you might get a little more sunshine, so some of our very far southern communities may make the low 70s. Most of us will be in the mid-60s today. That still puts us about 15 degrees below normal, but at least it'll be a little warmer than yesterday. Overnight tonight into tomorrow, we're mostly cloudy, but we are dry. However, we also need to watch out for patchy, dense fog. There's plenty of moisture on the ground. There's plenty of moisture in the air, and the winds will be calm. And so you've got to be prepared for that. So make sure for your morning commute tomorrow, you're ready to slow down a bit when you plan for your commute to maybe take a few minutes longer, depending on where you run in to some of that dense fog. Once we get past that, we'll spend the day, even at times, partly to mostly cloudy. So we'll get a little more sunshine in spots, and that will allow most of us to warm at least into the 70s. And of course, our southern communities may be a bit warmer than that. But as we roll into tomorrow, late evening into the overnight hours, we'll get additional scattered showers and thunderstorms. And again, no severe weather is expected with any of that activity, but it will continue into Thursday. Now, by Thursday, though, one thing I want to emphasize, yeah, it gets cloudy again, which does bring our temperatures back down a bit. But look at the rain. It's considerably more sporadic as we head through our Thursday. In fact, by late Thursday afternoon into the evening hours, we'll gradually begin to clear out going into Friday morning, and then we'll get that break from the rain, which we so badly need at this point. Our Camera 7 to the range line again, dreary, sprinkly, drizzly. We'll have those scattered showers again, gradually increasing through the morning hours, just kind of hovering in the low 60s. And once we get to that point of the even mostly cloudy skies, we get just a little sunshine in there. It will help us warm into the mid 60s with that north breeze at around 5 to 10 miles an hour. As we go into the evening hours, temperatures gradually fall back, low 60s by 10. We should be dry. There could be a stray shower or sprinkle, but most of us will be dry. And we'll have that patchy fog, mostly cloudy tonight, back into the upper 50s. By tomorrow, again, low 70s. Late evening storms into Thursday. Friday, sunny, upper 70s. Saturday, I do want to quickly mention that could get a pop-up storm or two in the afternoon or evening. And again, it's one of those things where thunder roars, head indoors. I think for most of us will be dry most of the day, but if you hear some thunder, just make sure you got a safe place to go until that storm passes, because otherwise, looks great into the weekend, and we warm back up low mid 80s. Let's check your forecast. We've got more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Well, a man in Eagle Mountain, Utah holds up a sign that says, "I believe in you" on his runs to motivate people. Now, he's trying to help others do it too while working to set a world record.
Fox's Mathili Gubi has the story.
Sometimes all it takes to brighten someone's day
If anybody needs to do a poster, we've got more.
is paper and a marker.
Oh, I started crying because I was going through some stuff and I really needed to hear that.
April is one of many people who have seen this "I believe in you" sign.
It's been amazing, the effect that it's had around the people around me and in the community, helping people make their day, their week, stay in a marriage, stay in school, and even save their life.
Ben Line is the man behind it.
Hey, how are you?
He's the runner guy with the sign and has been doing this for the past 3 years.
It's one of the best things I've ever been a part of, and being a part of somebody else's life, even for a few seconds as they see me run by, and having that change their life, there's nothing better.
Almost 2 years ago, I met Ben for the first time when he hosted an event for people to make their own signs and line up along the road. There were about 30 to 40 people that day. Now he's doing it again, but this time to set a world record.
People, standing side by side to form a mile-long chain of people holding motivational signs.
People from all over came out to be part of the Motivation Mile.
I thought, how cool. I get to do the same thing he does every day. Even though I'm not a runner, I get to tell people that they are amazing. And hopefully someone will see my sign and it will make their day.
Making their own signs, bringing the whole family.
You guys are welcome to fill in here because we got to fill in all this space.
And lining up along Pony Express Parkway.
The guy who's in charge of this, we see him running all the time, and it uplifts everybody who drives by him, so we wanted to be a part of this.
With cars honking, cheering, and people dancing, it really did feel like a big block party.
That was overwhelming, for sure. To see so many people, so many different messages, all cheering and all for that common goal. That was a special experience.
Because sometimes all it takes is a couple words on paper to make someone's day.
Everybody needs it, and I hope they feel uplifted and they feel some peace.
About 1,500 people lined up with signs, but they didn't quite make it to a mile. They did fall a couple hundred feet short, but Ben says it's a chance to try again next year and to hopefully make it to that 1 mile. In Eagle Mountain, I am Maithili Gobi, Fox 13 News, Utah.
How fun.
It certainly is.
Yeah.
You know, every so often you'll see a sign like that. The Smithfield Church coming up on Old 96. Every so often they put up a sign. It's one of sometimes it's that one that you do need to read.
Yes.
You need to see it sometimes. So great motivation. The forecast, not so motivating. I'm sorry, but if we all do it together, maybe we can go out with signs that say, you can do it, and hold it up to the clouds saying that they can do it. They can clear out. They can bring us some sunshine, because the patchy fog from the drizzle is not sunshine at all. That's what that looks like. And this green stuff and the white things that are all around it, those are clouds. That's rain, and that's not sunshine. I think somebody held up, you can do it, and it just decided to rain. We gotta change this somehow. We'll have scattered showers, maybe a couple of thunderstorms increasing through the morning into the afternoon. We'll get a break into showers overnight tonight with some patchy fog. And then we'll see another round late tomorrow into the overnight, and that will last into our Thursday as well. And again, no severe weather with any of this activity, but scattered showers and storms will continue for us as we roll into our Thursday before we finally clear out heading into the weekend. We'll have another look at your forecast and the news you need to know right after this.
Well, here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. A former police chief is on the run after escaping from a prison in Arkansas. Grant Hardin, the former police chief of Gateway, Arkansas, escaped from the North Central Unit in Calico Rock. Hardin disguised himself to mimic law enforcement when he escaped the North Central Unit. Hardin was serving a 30-year sentence for the October 2017 murder of James Appleton. He was also serving a 50-year sentence for the rape of an elementary school teacher in Rogers, Arkansas. Corrections officials say they are working closely with local, state, and federal agencies. Well, in Crawford County, Kansas, several roads were shut down after heavy flooding washed out portions of the roadway. Commissioner Bruce Blair says the damage is significant, and county officials are urging people to turn around and find a safer route instead of trying to drive through. They say the Road and Bridge Department immediately began assessing the damage and implementing safety closures while also looking at long-term repairs. And that's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
Door sprinkles. Said this morning some drizzle, eventually scattered shower storms, nothing severe. Mostly cloudy skies, so a pinch warmer, mid-60s, north breeze 5 to 10. Mostly cloudy, bulk of the rain coming to a close at 6, but there could be an isolated shower or sprinkle beyond that, but through about 8. Otherwise, mostly cloudy tonight. Patchy dense fog, upper 50s and calm winds. Not bad for most of Wednesday, but then late afternoon into the evening and overnight, a few more scattered showers and storms continuing into Thursday. They'll be a lot more spotty, so that's some good news. Friday looks great. Saturday, just a pop-up storm out there. So just remember, thunder roars, head indoors. Just keep an eye to the sky. Otherwise, a great Saturday, great Sunday, great Monday too. Sunny skies back into the low to mid 80s.
All right. Well, thousands of spectators watch competitors tumble down a hill in England for the annual cheese rolling contest. A series of races kicked off on Monday as participants chased a nearly 9-pound wheel of double Gloucester cheese down an almost 600-foot steep hill. The race dates back to the 19th century, but the tradition was established long before that.
Now, Monday's overall winner was Tom Kopke. It's for the second year in a row. This race is known for its high risk of injuries. I can't imagine why, as participants can suffer from broken bones to concussions, like playing football. Despite these dangers, organizers say there's never been a recorded fatality. Boy, that's terrific. That's great news there.
All right, yeah.
Well, thanks so much for joining us this morning. We'll be back at noon with more news and weather.
Have a great rest of your morning.